Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Matthew Schreiner podcast. A while back on this YouTube channel, I made a video saying that I would be changing the focus of this channel. I said that the focus of this channel would kind of be changing to talking about my vocational journey, as well as sharing my advice and thoughts, but I have decided yet again to change where I'm going with this channel. In all fairness, this channel and its content has not really been so much about it, but I have decided that regardless, no future video will be necessarily just discussing vocational things. First of all, just from where I am in life, I don't think it is necessarily the wisest thing for me to be giving that kind of public advice. We don't want to have a blind leading the blind thing. Also, simply put, I don't know how much advice I can really actually put into videos. So from now on, videos are going to be more about apologetics and defending the faith and discussing different things like that, which, regardless, has been the direction videos on this channel have been going. Just to step back into the vocational mindset, this Saturday I went to the transitional diaconate ordination for my diocese. 3 men were ordained to the transitional diaconate. I know 2 of them very well, 2 of the men who were ordained. Pardon me. I have gotten to know many seminarians from the diocese, from retreats and dinners with the vocations department of the diocese. I want to talk about the importance of discernment, however, because this is just something important. I was talking about how originally I was going to share my story of discernment, which I will no longer be doing, but discernment is important in finding your vocation. It begins first of all with having a relationship with God, and then also involves prayer. Prayer is very important. If you're thinking about your vocation and not just to the priesthood or religious life, I would highly recommend talking to a spiritual director, whether you are male or female. A spiritual director usually is a priest, but I'm sure that a deacon or a brother or even a nun, because I know nuns have been serving, who had served as spiritual directors as well. Um, I believe Mother Angelica, I've heard someone talking about her before, or someone who is a competent spiritual advisor could be a spiritual director, but I would recommend talking to a priest, talking to a spiritual director, regardless of who you are. Spiritual director is important for someone discerning where they're going in life, whether it is a religious life or not. Above all, know that the road to discernment and finding where God is calling you isn't a short process. It can be a long process. The answer will not come in a day. Even then, there are many priests who went to college and had careers before they became priests. And there are many married men who even went to seminary. Joe Heschmeyer, who's a Catholic apologist at Catholic Answers and host of Shameless Popery, who after serving as a lawyer joined seminary and earned 2 degrees before leaving and later getting married and had children. Not long ago, I heard of someone who went to seminary and ended up leaving after he met a girl, and even then, many men do discern out of seminary for many reasons. But again, simply put, I don't think I am the best resource for vocational advice, at least the primary source. I still may talk, and I do believe I know a decent amount to partially advise people, but I think there's a much more than I can speak about on this channel. But I think there is much more I can speak about on this channel, and especially regarding that, there's much more to talk about with vocations. So at least now, vocations will not be the main focus of this channel. But above all, prayer is important. Keep on praying and talk with others. Talk with priests, deacons, brothers, sisters, friends, people at your parish, etc. And get involved, especially for my young men. Get to know seminarians. I believe more importantly, being immersed into vocations is very important. Seeing and experiencing them. Things like altar serving are a way we get to know the priesthood, while things like dating are how we get to discern the vocation of marriage. But also, speaking and listening to seminarians and priests, and also married men or women, are how we can learn about these vocations. Above all, I just want to reiterate that a wise and prudent spiritual director is important. One who can give good advice and lead you on the right path. Above all, that is God's path. I saw this afternoon before I actually finished scripting this episode. A list of things for being a, quote, based Catholic life. I did air quotes in video, but I put quote in there so you knew I was. Yeah, that's what it was called. So, that included praying the rosary, reading the lives of the saints, stop dating just to date, find a solid spiritual director, unplug and go to adoration, learn Latin Mass or appreciate reverence, and be unfordable, which I misspelled and they misspelled. I believe that was supposed to be uncomfortable for the gospel, which, again, that was an original misspelling that they made, which seems to be a mistake, and I think I made a mistake spelling their mistake. And embrace suffering like a man. That was the points that they had. And all of these things are very good advice for being a Catholic. If you think of a holy person you know, then they probably fill at least a few of these, and they are great advice. But core and central to this should be having a relationship with God, and that's the most important. So I want to let you know I will not be giving up this channel. I want to continue to discuss the faith I love very much. I want to also continue to defend it and share my love in hopes that that love will spread to others and could lead to others' conversion and change the hearts of others. Pardon me. I want to lead others into love of God and His church, sharing my own love and care. Apologetics and defense and sharing of the faith will be the focus of the channel and blog. The blog will also continue to be up. And it will stick to the same thing, merely sharing the faith of the church and all that. Every once in a while, there will be thing about vocations, related things as well, especially on the blog. Things that do not necessarily relate to the faith, too. I kind of wanted to do a free-for-all Friday thing like Trent Horn does, but there will be a new blog post every day for sure. I would like to give apologies that there was no post this Saturday, but I started writing a post and just never finished it. And then, of course, on Sunday, I will continue to reflect on the readings. That is, I will give a lay reflection to share my thoughts to add on to the homily you will receive at your parish. And, of course, for as long as I can continue to choose to change, there will be new podcast episodes on Monday and Thursday. I'm thinking of changing it, but I also want to work on my Atari Guide channel that I just have kind of neglected, which I do hope to continue working. I also started a liturgical-based blog that will look at the liturgy and other things related to that. But that is it for today, and more podcast episodes are on the way. Again, I just want to reiterate, I'm not giving up the blog. This is a new direction for the blog, and it's going to center more on the faith. So center more on things like Trent Horn does, Catholic Answers does, and things like that, to try and just share that faith. And so that's the focus of this channel. That's what'll continue. I just wanted to say that I said I was going to be sharing my vocation discernment story and all that. Well, that's no longer the focus of the channel that I said there was. So it'll be about defending the faith. It'll be about being a Catholic podcast. Above all, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, don't close your options off so quickly. Be open and understanding to where God might be calling you, because it's easy to say this one thing. I mean, look at men who go into the seminary and end up discerning out. They felt that was their call, and they were wrong, obviously. So above all, discernment is where God wants you. It's not where you want to be necessarily, and it's not necessarily where others want you to be either. So I just want to reiterate, discernment is important. Praying and having that relationship with God is core and fundamental to that. So just don't close off your options so quickly. Be open, be willing, but above all, get immersed. Like, do altar serving, meet the seminarians. And if you are a young girl, be open to the nuns. I mean, I know, I talked before about a girl who was open to the nuns, to being a nun. You don't necessarily see that all the time, of being open to that idea. So just be open, be willing to discern, and be willing to go where God is going. Prayer is core and fundamental to that. So I'm going to leave off here. That was a little unscripted part at the end. I like to script these videos now. So that's it for today, and I will see you Thursday.